Jesus died and rose from the dead. The Old Testament predicted that the suffering servant would die for sinners. He would have done no violence. They would make his grave with the wicked and with the rich in his death. And then it says his days will be prolonged and the will of the Lord will prosper in his hand. Well, if you're dead and buried in a borrowed tomb, how can your days be prolonged? You've got to be raised from the dead. And Isaiah predicted that 7 centuries before Jesus was born. And Jesus said he was the suffering servant because he quoted that very chapter about himself. And he said, I'm going to do that very thing. He dies, he rises, and then he appears exactly as he said, exactly as the Old Testament predicted. And this explains, guess what? The Old Testament prophecies. It explains the life of Jesus. It explains the death of the apostles. It explains the birth and triumphant movement of the early church that just absolutely revolutionized the Roman Empire in the first 4 centuries after it was born. What thing makes more sense than the actual, literal, bodily resurrection of Jesus?